How do you convert dates to strings in JavaScript? To convert date to string in JavaScript, you need the string method. The string method can convert dates to string. And let's look at how that can be done in JavaScript in the code editor. So this is how you can use the string method to convert dates to string. How do you do that? So let me just make a variable. Let me call it test. I'm calling the global string method, and inside it, I can just pass in the dates objects like this. Now you can see the current date, and this is the current time on my system, which means that the global string method can be used to convert date to string. Now, this way that we just used now can also be done using the toString method to achieve the same. And when we want to use the toString method, so we just pass in the date and pass the method to it, the date object, then pass in the method to it. And take a look, we can see it. So which means that the global string method and the toString method can be used to help achieve the conversion from date to strings in JavaScript. So this is how this method can be used in order to change from date to string in JavaScript. So aside from these two, there are other methods through which you can use to work with dates to convert them to a string. For example, we have the following method that are available to us for use when converting dates to string. You have the getDate method. It gets the day as a number between 1 to 31, which stands for each day of every month. Then you have the getDay method. The getDay gets the weekday of a number, for example, between 0 and 6, which represents Sunday to Saturday. Then we have the getFullYear method that gets the 4-digit year. We have the getHours that get the hour between 0 to 23. We have the getMilliseconds that get the milliseconds from 0 to 999. We have the getMinute that can be used to get the minute between 0 to 59, which represents a minute in time. Then we have the getMonth, which can get month between 0 to 11, which represents January to December. And we also have getSeconds that can get seconds between 0 to 59, which represents second. And we also have getTime that can get the time in milliseconds since January 1, 1917, which happened to be a standard date format in JavaScript. Now, let's quickly take a look at how you can convert booleans to number. So how do you convert booleans to number? When you want to convert a booleans to number, you use the global number method. It can be used to do this in JavaScript. So the global number method can also convert booleans to numbers. So now, here I need a variable let's test equals to number, the method, and then I can just pass in false. And now you can see it returns what? 0. So 0 stands for false in JavaScript, and if I pass true, this will return 1. Also, booleans can be converted to string using the global method string method. For example, you can change this string. You can see this returns true. And here if I pass in false, this also returns false. So this is how you can use the global string method to convert booleans to string. And also the toString method does the same. So which is by passing in the method to the value false dot to string. Look at this false true dot to string. Just return true dot to string. This should return string true. Yeah, not false. So it's return false. So moving on from this, we also have automatic type conversion. Where JavaScript try to operate on a wrong data type, it will try to convert the value to the right type. So, and most times the result is not always what you expect. For example, let's take a look at this. Now you try to add a number and non-data type together. In this instance, let's see what JavaScript will do. You can see this returns 5. You do know why? It is because the value of none is converted to 0. So JavaScript just return the number that it can find. Now, what if we change this to a string and non-value together? You can see what this is returned. Because none here is converted to null. So it automatically does what? It automatically changes into a string too and join them and concatenate them together. So what if you try to add a number, a string and a number? Let's say a string and I change this to something like 2. You can see this. So JavaScript just converts the number into a string and then it will join it together with the first string. Or what you do if you do a minus, what will happen? You can see now that it returns 3. And do you know why? The reason is because this 5 is converted into a number and then it does the number subtraction, and that is why you can see it right there on the screen. Now, what if we have this 5 in a string format by 2 also in a string? Now, this returns 10 because 5 and 2 are converted to 5 in numbers and then they multiply each other to give us that result. So also you can do automatic string conversion in JavaScript. So by using the variable to string method function, when you try to output an object or a variable, that can help you do automatic string conversion in JavaScript. So let me quickly show you an example. So I'll take this out. And now do document dot get elements by item. And I have something like my var. Now, if my var equals to say now see this. Am I missing a syntax? No. Okay, this expects what? Something like this. Actually, this is not returning anything, and I want to see if I can inspect to check for why that is happening. Okay, my var is not divine. Okay, so I see the problem. So let me move this up.